What's up, guys? That Really Ghost Guy here, and we are back playing Warframe, and you guys saw me take on Captain Vor, and today we are going to move on to our next target. We're going after, I forgot his name, the Jackal. The Jackal. Alright, Lotus. Alright, Lotus. We know. I've already got a Rhino, so I've done this plenty of times, because, you know, if I have a Rhino, obviously I've killed the Jackal, because, spoiler alert! You get Rhino parts from the Jackal. Of course, you all knew that. I know, it's not really a spoiler. Anywho, so I honestly don't know with this loadout if I'm going to end up finishing off the Jackal, because this is my pride and joy, the first Warframe I ever built, and I figured I had to take in the Rhino I earned to the Jackal fight. When I fight the Jackal. So, but he's all shotgun-based close quarters combat. So we'll see how this turns out. But I did want to talk to you guys just a little bit today about some stuff, and also and I also want to talk about, you know, the Jackal itself, just like I did when I talked about Vor. So we'll look at that. Just get wrecked. Now, I'm using the Strun. We got to get into the loadout first, just because we'll get that out of the way so we don't have to talk about it when things are all hot and heavy and we're taking down the Jackal. So, right off the bat, like I said, we are a close quarters Rhino. So, what I'm running is the Strun, which is a very not so wonderful shotgun. I never changed my loadout once at all since I got this frame build. So it is literally the design I built him with. So if you don't know, on my channel I do themes on every Warframe, and I don't change them out because I like to keep a same feel for the Warframes when I craft them, all the way up to, you know, creating them and tuning them into the Warframe I want them to be. So anyways, without further ado, there he is running the Strun, the Akbronco, because these things in the low level missions are pretty darn good, but they fall off pretty bad. I don't know, I might be wrong, because I haven't really given it a chance since they reworked the shotguns and made the shotguns better in the game. So there is a possibility that they're better than they used to be. Well, they're definitely better than they used to be, but I doubt they're, you know, fantastic. So, oh, there's a star thing right there, and a rare one too. Awesome. So let's move up our elevator and get on with it. I don't know what you're saying, Jackal. It's all computer gibberish to me. And lastly is the Sindo, the giant axe I have at my waist, which is really cool. Not the most powerful weapon, but it is fun to use. It is definitely fun to use. And it is pretty easy to get in the early game. But like I said, it's not the greatest weapon. They have a Prime version of it, which is much, much better. And if you're... well, actually, I don't know if you can get it at the moment. At least the time of this filming, it is in the vault. If you don't know what the vault is, basically they put some things away so that you can't get them until certain events take place, and certain events or dates and times and all that stuff, in order for some things to be acquirable in the game. But anyways, this is my Rhino. There are many like it, but this one is mine, and I love it. I love its coloration. I think it's fantastic. Just that cool white and blue, kind of like a White Knight build. I don't know, it's just so fun. It's so fun. It's so... it's perfect. It's perfect. I mean, obviously, I'm in love with it because it is my first frame that I ever built myself, so that is that. But let's get on to the boss fight. We'll finish these guys off. Oops. Finish these guys off, and then we'll get to the boss fight. Awesome. So If you see my attire that I'm currently wearing at the moment, forgive the double hoodie. It is incredibly cold where I live right now, and we do not have the heat turned on at the moment because we need to get the vents and stuff cleaned out, and that is coming up in the next couple days. So right now I have doubled up. I am wearing tall high socks and ankle socks at the same time to keep my feet warm. I am wearing a t-shirt and 2 hoodies to keep myself warm, and yeah, it is what it is. But I have a heater by my feet, but I can't run it because then you guys would hear this obnoxious sound in the background, and I don't want that for you guys. So let's keep the content and the quality up there. I can deal with a little bit of cold for 10 to 15 minutes if necessary. But let's get going. Let's not bother with these guys. Blow! His first ability, if you're not familiar with Rhino, is a good way to transport yourself around if you have enough energy to do so. Let me grab just a couple of these. I don't really need anything out of those containers, but there's always a possibility of dropping those the little things that you saw me pick up just a minute ago, one of the rarer things. But let's get through here. So I do want to mention, I talked about the War Within a little bit in the Vor video. I do want to mention that there is a possibility that the War Within is still a little ways out, which is, whatever. There's a lot of anger going on, and I don't know why people are angry. I mean, it's a little disappointing, but you can't be angry. That's on you if you're, see, there we go. See if I got another thingy. But I don't know. I don't want to talk about that too much. I'm just excited that it's around the corner. And there was something else I wanted to touch base with on that I haven't talked about quite yet. But if you guys are keeping in touch with the news and some of the other YouTubers, you guys are probably pretty familiar with what's going on, so that's totally fine. I just think that that people need to not overhype it. In these next couple days, if you dialed in that this is going to be the greatest thing to ever happen to you, you need to tone it down and be comfortable with the fact that it's not going to be. I don't want to say for sure, but it might not be what you're expecting, and because it's been so long, the hype has been building up for so long. But you have to realize, just because they've delayed it doesn't mean they've doubled the amount of content that's coming out. It just means that, here's the Jackal, so I want to get this point across real quick. It just means, because they've completely restarted the whole quest more than once. So because it's been an extra month doesn't mean they have a month of additional content. It literally means they started, as far as we know, they started over from scratch, and the same amount of content is coming out even though it's been an additional amount of time. So just be chill with that. I really don't want to see people flipping out and whatnot, because the War Within is not what they were expecting. It's just, I don't know. Anyways, that point has been made. Thank you. Let's get this done and over with, and let's fight the Jackal. Let's see if I can even do it. I mean, I should health-wise, but I don't know the last time I fought Jackal, and at the same time, this is a close quarters build that shouldn't be fighting the Jackal, to be honest with you. But here he is. Really cool. So let's get into a little bit of the information about Jackal, including the loot, and I want to talk a little bit about, not necessarily lore, but his design, mostly about his design. So let's take out his arms. That's the big deal, is to take out his arms mostly. Look at that damage I already did to him, so maybe this is going to be easier than I was expecting. So you want to get his arms, you want to get him down like you saw, and you want to do some damage to his head. So right off the bat, I want to talk about the mods that he's going to drop. So he's going to drop a couple. I think the Blunderbuss is a common mod. That is one thing he drops, and I believe these next couple, the Ruinous Extension, Shell Compression, Tactical Pump. No, I think just Ruinous Extension and Shell Compression are uncommon mods, so those are going to be a little bit less common than the Blunderbuss. And then Tactical Pump, I believe, is it an aura? I'm not too sure, but Tactical, it might be a rare, so that chance of that dropping is going to be low. Handspring also, that's going to be a low drop chance, and Shock Absorbers, I believe, is going to be a low drop chance. So those are all the mods he's going to drop. He also is going to drop some Field Round samples and possibly an Orokin Cell. And Orokin Cells are sought after pretty heavily for newer players because it's made for, it's going to be incorporated in a lot of your builds coming up, especially Warframes. So that's a possibility. Now, he also is going to be dropping, I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, he is also going to be dropping Rhino parts, and those Rhino parts can be obviously the chassis, the systems, or the neuro-optics. I'm familiar with calling them the helmet, but I try to remember to call those neuro-optics for all the newer players. It used to be called the helmet. There he goes, he is dead, awesome. So we managed to get a Blunderbuss out of it, very common, so, you know, you gotta expect that. And lastly, on the way out, we will find out what he dropped in the Rhino parts. But we have been locked out, so we will have to do the security thing. There we go, already done and good. And let's head on out of here. So, let's do this. Just kill everybody. This is ultimate. Basically is a stun as well as does some damage. Pretty fun. Let's get some, there we go. Pretty fantastic. Blow! Alright, so finish these guys off and get out of here. So, I also want to mention, I do want to drop in, real quick before we go, I want to talk about his old variations of the Jackal. And there was a concept version that I want to put up on the screen now. And this is kind of cool. This is kind of a more armored Jackal. He's a lot more slim in the current game. I just thought it was kind of a cool concept that you guys might want to see if you guys haven't seen it before. And then at the same time, there was a Dark Sectors game that came out a long time ago for the PS2, maybe Xbox as well. I don't know for sure. But I'll put up the Jackal that appeared in that game, if I can find it, up on the screen now. And this one's pretty cool too, but obviously this is a completely different design. It has a little bit of characteristics that are similar, but technically, according to lore, that nothing that has to do with the original Dark Sector game technically has is candid or has real lore that ties into the Warframe you are seeing right now and playing now. Now they do take a little bit of the ideas and the design out of that game and rework it and turn it into something new, but none of it is actually 100% tied to the lore of this game, so just keep that in mind. But I just wanted you guys to see those cool designs if you've never seen them before. But yeah, we are at Extraction, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for some daily Warframe stuff that I do every day, as well as some more of the boss fights and whatnot. Hope you learned something if you are not too familiar with the Jackal and his drops and all that other loot. If you already are familiar with everything that I've told you so far, hopefully you at least enjoyed the video. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys again next time. Let's see what we got out of the loot. We got Rhino Neuro Optics, pretty cool. I might build another Rhino over in time, but I got a couple. So thank you guys for watching. Until next time. Blow! The fact that the 100 Days of Warframe just got dropped by Mashed, I believe, is the channel you can go find it on, but the actual artist goes by a different name, and he actually has his own YouTube channel. But